Nami's log pose begins to point to the sky. After that, a big ship falls over them and the crew finds a map of an island named Skypiea on the 200-year-old ship. They compete with the monkey-like Masira's salvage crew while they search for more clues on how to get there. The Straw Hats decide to go to Jaya Island to look for information on Skypiea. Meanwhile, Ace suddenly shows up on Buggy's ship, who doesn't let any of his men attack Ace, fearing Whitebeard's retribution. Jaya's main town is full of famous pirates that are constantly brawling with each other. Luffy and Zoro have a run-in with a pirate known as Bellamy the Hyena, who ridicules their dreams and beats them up. They then meet the man who is later revealed to be Blackbeard, and after a speech for him, they leave Mock Town, and get into a fight with Masira's brother Shoujo, another salvage monkey. The Straw Hats meet with Mont Blanc Cricket on another part of Jaya, who is a descendant of Mont Blanc Noland, an infamous liar who told of a gold city on Jaya, and Cricket was outcast for looking for artifacts of the gold city. Cricket explains how the Straw Hats can ride a dangerous vertical current called the knock-up stream to get to Skypiea. However, they first have to catch a south bird to point them toward the point where the stream will erupt from the ocean. While the Straw Hats are looking for a south bird, Bellamy and his crew attack Cricket's house, and steal the gold artifacts he'd collected over the years from his salvage work. When the Straw Hats return and see what happened, Luffy decides to take a side trip back to Mock Town and takes out Bellamy with a single punch. Meanwhile, the world government heads are concerned over Whitebeard, Shanks, and Luffy. They try to decide who will replace Crocodile as a Shichibukai until one of Blackbeard's crew shows up uninvited and nominates his captain. The Going Merry is refitted by Masira and Shoujo to be more flight capable, and the Straw Hats catch a ride on the knock-up stream for Skypiea. They arrive in an ocean above the clouds and Usopp almost falls out of the Sky Island but is saved at the last minute. The crew is also attacked by a mysterious-looking warrior, but is saved by the Knight of the Sky. Finally, they arrive at the border which transports them to the upper realm. As the crew arrives in Skypiea, they're greeted by Konis and her pet Sue. Both she and her father start explaining how the life in Skypiea is and how the different dials work. Nami finds out what should happen to anyone who enters the forest. Meanwhile, the rest of the gang are waiting for the wind to change but are rudely assaulted by Skypiea's police, who are going to carry out Heaven's judgment. The Straw Hats have some problems with the local justice enforcer force called the White Berets. Before they can leave, Chopper, Robin, Nami and Zoro are abducted by a giant shrimp, so Luffy, Sanji and Usopp go after them to the upper yard. Konis then leads them to a boat to get to upper yard, but she tells them it is a trap and almost gets hit by Heaven's judgment. They finally enter upper yard, only to find out that the whole road is trapped heavily, but at last they arrive at the ordeal gates. Meanwhile, Robin, Zoro, and Nami go out to explore upper yard while Chopper stays behind to guard the ship. Luffy and the other two enter the ordeal of Ball's Gate and encounter the priest Satori. They soon start to fight him, but the power of mantra seems to be too strong for them. Chopper, threatened by Priest Shura, blows the whistle for Gonfall to come, but before he can arrive, Priest Shura assaults Chopper and begins destroying the Going Merry. As Satori is defeated by Luffy and Sanji, Gonfall has been defeated and Chopper jumps in the water to rescue him. Chopper is saved by a bunch of giant Southbirds, who tell him that Gonfall was actually God. Nami, Zoro, and Robin discover the reason why Upper Yard is a soil island, as it was once part of Jaya, and this is the part that Liar Norland saw. Meanwhile, the Shandians attack Upper Yard. The crew is finally reunited, and everyone speaks up about what has happened. Chopper takes care of Gonfall, and the pirates plan to steal the gold on the island. After befriending a wolf pack, Gonfall tells the crew a little more about the history of Upper Yard. As Eneru takes away the limitations of the priests, Usopp witnesses a mysterious person fixing the ship, and the next day Mary is found to be back to her original form. After getting her off the altar, the pirates plan out their course of action until a giant python makes Luffy, Robin, Chopper and Zoro split while going to the ruins at the south. Wiper takes out Shura and tells his goal to the Shandians, and Eneru speaks up about how many people will be alive by the end of his plan. Zoro fights the Shandian warrior Graham, and defeats him with his new one-sword style, 36 caliber Phoenix technique. Luffy fights Wiper, but after some time, he falls into some underground ruins. Meanwhile, Eneru appears on the Going Merry, and after telling that his true goal was the City of Gold, he takes out both Usopp and Sanji and vanishes to leave Satoru's brothers, Hattori and Kotori, to avenge their brother. Chopper is attacked by Gadatsu, who turns out to be a complete moron, and eventually defeats him, sending him plummeting to the Blue Sea. Konis and Pagaya help Isa, and head to Upper Yard. As Eneru defeats several members of the Shandian tribe, Gonfall and Nami start and finish their fight with Kotori and Hattori. Hattori is defeated by Nami while Kotori is defeated by Gonfall. It is also revealed that Eneru is made of lightning. While Robin is looking at some ruins she found, Yama, the chief enforcer, attacks her, but he is easily defeated by her. Later, she discovers the legendary city, Shandora. Priest Olm appears and starts fighting everyone, and when Nami appears, she is swallowed by the giant python, along with Gonfall and Isa. Olm makes matters worse, creating a barbed wire cage around the area. Loki is knocked out by Eneru and Nami, Isa, and Gonfall find out why the python was rampaging so much, but Zoro finally defeats Priest Olm. Meanwhile, Pagaya and Konis hear the terrible truth about the goal of Eneru, to eradicate every person in the sky. Eneru appears only to reduce the group as close to his prediction as he can, and to do that, Eneru destroys the upper ruins with one of his attacks, causing everyone to fall onto Shandorian's ancestor's city. He counterattacks Gonfall and lands a finishing hit and then knocks out Robin as she tries to manipulate him. Zoro impresses Eneru with his power but is easily beaten. While trying to make him pay for what he did to Robin, but it takes Wiper with a secret weapon to take Eneru down. However, after much fight, Eneru defeats Zoro and Wiper. Upon seeing this, Nami follows him to a cave where his arch, Maxim is. Luffy finally gets out of the snake, along with Isa, only to find out the outcome of the fight against Eneru. When Isa tells him that she knows where he is, he asks her to take him there. Luffy and Eneru start fighting as Konis tells the dangers of staying in Sky Island to the other Scypians. Eneru, realizing how strong Luffy is, starts a machine that would bring the death of Sky Island and calls it Deathpea. Luffy falls from the ark and Nami starts fighting Eneru while Sanji and Usopp try to rescue her. They split up to rescue Nami, but the first one to get on deck is Usopp, and Eneru's thunderclouds comes down to Sky Island while the evacuation is half complete. The history of Noland and Kalgera is told, as a flashback from Wiper, where Kalgera was a hero of the Shandia who lived while Upper Yard was still a part of Jaya, some 400 years ago, and who befriended the explorer Mont Blanc Noland, the ancestor of Mont Blanc cricket. Later, a statue of him was erected after his death as an eternal reminder to the Shandia of his strength and courage. Noland and Kalgera are enjoying themselves, as well as the villagers and Noland's crew, but that changes one day as the villagers start hating their new friends. Noland has cut down a grove of special trees on the island which the villagers say house every ancestor and are sacred enough to protect with their lives. Meanwhile, Kalgera vows to meet Mont Blanc Noland again. Angel Island is destroyed by Eneru's attacks and Luffy decides to go and ring the golden bell before Eneru takes it away. Nami finds out a way to get to Eneru and sends a message to the others for them to cut down Giant Jack. Zoro cuts down half of the stalk, but Eneru fires a bolt straight at him, rendering him unconscious. As the others look on hopelessly, Wiper lets his pride get the better of him, saying that the descendants of Kalgera should ring the bell. Usopp tries to help in a knowingly futile attempt by using his exploding star techniques. Robin tells Wiper that Cricket, Noland's descendant, is searching for the Gold City and Luffy wants to ring the bell for him. Reinvigorated, Wiper goes to Giant Jack and uses one final reject, knocking down the rest of the stalk in the process. Nami and Luffy then charge up Giant Jack to face Eneru, and after a much long and brutal fight with both men using their devil fruits, Luffy defeats Eneru by smashing him into the golden bell, ringing it in the process. Luffy has won and the 400-year war on Sky Island is finally over. Mont Blanc Cricket and the Masira brothers hear the golden bell ringing and realize that the Gold City was always in the sky. Eneru, who was thrown to the blue sea, heads out to the fairy Verth, also known as the moon. The Sky people, both Scypians and Shandorians, celebrate the end of the war with a great bonfire. Robin deciphers the poneglyphs on the golden bell and realizes how to find the Rio one. She also discovers that the poneglyphs on the bell were written by Gold Roger, who could understand them, and had discovered the Rio poneglyph when he had once visited Skypiea. Soon afterwards, the Straw Hats steal a bunch of gold from the giant anaconda's belly and they begin to leave Skypiea. The golden bell rings as the Straw Hats are going down to the sea, meaning that they are welcome and are deeply thankful for what they did. When the ship finally rests on the sea, problems appear, as the crew found out that they landed in a marine base.